Hi guys, RhubarbStew here with episode 2 of How to Play Critical Ops. Today, we're going to be looking at SMGs, the second tier of weapons. There are currently 3 SMGs in the game, the MP5, the MP7, and the infamous P90. These weapons range in price between $1,300 and $2,200, making them cheaper than most rifles but offering more than just a pistol. They're used best at short to medium ranges against non-armored opponents. Because there really isn't a specific time that you should buy SMGs like pistols or rifles, I'll just talk about the price to performance of each gun and let you make up your own mind. As usual, all damage is dealt at point-blank range to the head, chest, and legs accordingly, to keep statistics as consistent as possible. Let's get started with the MP5. The MP5 is the cheapest of the SMGs, coming in at just $1,300. However, for such a low price, the gun really delivers. Against unarmored opponents, the gun deals 96 damage to the head, 34 damage to the chest, and 24 damage to the legs. The $1,300 price tag does bring in a couple problems. Once we factor in armor, the gun only deals 43 damage to the head, 15 damage to the chest, and 10 damage to the legs. This makes the gun most effective against unarmored opponents. It deals quite a lot of damage for only the $1,300 price tag, but against armored opponents falls off in comparison to the other SMGs. I recommend using this gun after the first round, if you've won. Since the enemy team most likely will not be purchasing armor, it makes it ideal for you to use this gun. The $1,300 price tag allows you to upgrade the gun at the next round, while you still save some cash. Or you can use the cash that you saved by purchasing this gun towards smokes, flashes, or a helmet. The gun has a magazine of 30 bullets, with 4 magazines total. However, you're not really in danger of running out of bullets with this gun, as if you kill an opponent, you might be picking up their gun. In my opinion, the gun functions best at short to medium ranges. The gun's damage falls off quite a bit faster than the other SMGs. However, with all SMGs, I'd recommend keeping them at short to medium ranges, as at longer ranges, it just doesn't make much sense to use the guns. Personally, when I use the MP5, I find it very similar to a rifle. Of the SMGs, the fire rate is the lowest, and the recoil pattern is very easy to control. When playing with the gun, I like to use it as an almost short-range rifle. Playing with the gun like a rifle, but keeping it to shorter ranges than I normally would with, say, an AK. Though difficult to explain, the gun just feels like a rifle, unlike the other SMGs. In terms of price to performance, I'd say that this gun is probably the best of all the SMGs, offering good damage, but a clear upgrade path to a rifle in the next round. Let's move on to the MP7. The MP7 feels very much like a true SMG. $300 more than the MP5, coming in at $1,600, and for those $300, you just get better stats. Both SMGs have 30 bullet magazines and 4 magazines total. They deal similar damage to the head, chest, and legs, but the MP7 has slightly better armor penetration, though nowhere near as much as you'd think for the extra $300. The gun deals 92 damage to the head, 37 damage to the chest, and 23 damage to the legs against unarmored opponents, and 48 damage to the head, 19 damage to the chest, and 13 damage to the leg against armored opponents. There isn't much to say about the gun, since the damage, the armor penetration, the magazine size, the magazine count, even the name are almost identical. The only difference between these guns is that the MP7 just deals slightly higher damage and has a slightly better range. In addition to this, the MP7 has a slightly more difficult, or rather unorthodox recoil pattern, as it goes to the left and then to the right, instead of going up. In terms of what you should buy, it really doesn't matter. It comes down to personal preference, but I'd recommend sticking with the MP5 and then picking up a smoke grenade. Though the $300 might not seem much, it might make the difference. But if you really don't care, then just pick whichever one you prefer. The last SMG is the P90. This gun comes in at much more than both of the SMGs, at $2,200. For the $2,200, you're getting a much higher fire rate, and a much larger magazine capacity of 50 bullets, However, you only come with 3 magazines total, and because of the high fire rate, you're in danger of running out of bullets. The P90 doesn't have amazing statistics, or damage statistics, for a gun that costs $2,200. Against armored opponents, it deals 92 damage to the head, 33 damage to the chest, and 23 damage to the legs. Against armored opponents, it deals 50 damage to the head, 20 damage to the chest, and, oddly, 23 damage to the legs. It's almost like the legs aren't even affected by the armor. Weird. I did test this out on a number of occasions on different servers, from different teams even, but I always ended up with the same result. The P90 offers slightly better armor penetration, but not enough to make up for the $2,200. Where the P90 really begins to shine is its rate of fire. Though the P90 is fairly inaccurate for a gun which is often labeled with the run-and-gun strategy, the high rate of fire and large magazines easily make up for the inaccuracy. You're capable of spraying down maybe 2 or 3 opponents quickly with the 50-bullet magazines. However, the gun is very inaccurate the longer you hold down the trigger. Even tap shooting isn't that great, so I'd recommend keeping the P90 as close as you can to corners, pushing up quickly into sights. The $2,200 price tag also means that the gun can almost function as a stand-in for a rifle. Pair the P90 with some flash grenades and you can easily take on a couple of AKs. Though 150 bullets sounds like a lot, it really isn't. The P90 is very prone to running out of ammunition, as of the 50 bullets you have, you're going to be missing quite a few simply because of the large spray. In terms of price to performance, I'd rather have the $200 upgrade to an AK-47, but that's just me. I like to play at longer to medium ranges, and the P90 just isn't made for that. So, make up your own mind. So, what can we take away from these statistics? Well, first off, all of the SMGs are meant to be played at short to medium distances. The guns aren't super accurate, but they're not super inaccurate while moving, so a run-and-gun or a quick push playstyle is recommended with these guns. You can even jump around the corners with some of them while compensating for recoil, and do fairly well. The MP5 and the MP7 are made as anti-eco guns, with cheap price tags, but enough damage that they can take on unarmored opponents with pistols. The P90 is very much a rifle fill-in, if you will, since it comes with a $2,200 price tag, but a bunch more damage. To choose between MP5 and MP7, it's your own choice, but buy the MP5 or the MP7 when you're playing against unarmored opponents. Buy the P90 if, I guess, you're looking to have fun. This video is a bit shorter than the last, since there's only 3 guns to talk about, but I hope I've covered them in enough detail that you have a better understanding of the game. If I've missed something, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you want to see more of these, or a dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you'd like to receive notifications for when I upload the next episode of How to Play Critical Ops. This is RhubarbStew. Keep on cooking.